Hey, welcome to Meal Prep. You get to see another messy side of my craft room. I sat down to start editing and I didn't have an intro. So this week is a all cold food week. When I was making my menu, I could not think of anything hot that just tripped my trigger. Nothing sounded good. Nothing sounded like I wanted to mess with it, except for the French toast casserole, which, let me tell you, is delicious. Oh, it is a recipe I found in a Taste of Home magazine that I got at the thrift store the other week. I changed the recipe to lighten it up. I cut it in half. I used a whole different bread, and I think the bread's what made it so good. It's this limited edition Pepperidge Farm strawberry swirl bread. Limited edition, of course. David's like, well, just get some more and put it in the freezer. I think it'll be good with the original recipes and raisin bread, raisin swirl bread, whatever. But when I saw the strawberry, I had to change it. I think it will be good with their other swirl breads. I think it will be delicious come fall with their pumpkin swirl breads. So this is definitely a recipe that I am keeping. I will be making again because it is that good. I tasted a little corner. That's how I know. But the rest of it is just assembly. It's just an assembly line, pretty much. A couple things I made in the beginning. I didn't show at the end because I made them yesterday. The honey mustard dressing from Jones Pointed Plate, I made that because I want to have that with my sandwiches. I didn't pull it out and show it at the end. And I made some Jello Fluff, and I didn't pull it out and show it at the end. But we go through it on the video. So let's just go right into it and see what I'm going to have for this week. And I'm just telling you right now, I'm going to stay on track because of these foods. I don't have an excuse. This meal prep gives me no excuse to not stay on track. So let's just go get started. I'm going to start out making the honey mustard dressing from Joan over at Jones Pointed Plate. I already have in here 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, 3 tablespoons of honey, and 5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. We're going to whisk that up until it's really smooth. Now we're going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar. It's not monk fruit, it's sugar. 4 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And there again, we're going to whisk it. Now, here I just want to show you how much it makes of a pint jar. So I'm going to say 1.5 cups. For the Jello Fluff, use any box of sugar-free Jello flavor that you like. To that, we're going to add 1/2 cup of boiling water. And then we want to whisk it around until it is completely dissolved. And once we do that, we're going to add 1/2 cup of cold water. And just stir it around. Let it sit in the fridge for about half an hour. That's all it's going to take to cool it down. And then we're going to add our yogurt. Now, I'm using full-fat Greek yogurt, but the original Weight Watchers recipe is for non-fat Greek yogurt. But whisk it in until it's really, really smooth. We'll see here in just a second. It turns a nice pastel color. Then you know you've got it whisked in correctly. Pour it into 4 half-cup containers. That's how much it makes. Let it sit in the fridge. Now I want you to see how it sets up just like Jello, except it's creamy and it's very smooth. Now it does have the tart tang of the yogurt, so just be aware of that. Next up is our French toast casserole made with this Pepperidge Farm strawberry swirl bread. Limited edition, so future ones will have to be made with some other bread. I took half the loaf, which is 8 ounces, cubed it. Half is going into the bottom of this sprayed 8-inch baking dish. This is 4 ounces of cream cheese. I'm just using regular cream cheese. And we're going to dot it all over the top, the whole 4 ounces. Then we're going to top that with the rest of the breadcrumbs, or bread cubes, I should say. Now we're going to mix the egg mixture. So we start with 4 eggs. To that, 1/4 cup of sugar-free pancake syrup, 1/4 cup of monk fruit, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and 3/4 cup of half and half. Whisk that really, really well until it's completely combined. Pour it over the bread, mash all the bread down into it, get everything covered and kind of coated as best you can. Cover it, put it in the fridge overnight. The next morning, let it sit out for a half an hour to come to room temperature. Then we're going to bake it covered for 30 minutes, uncover it, and bake it for another 20, or until the knife inserted in the middle comes out clean. Now, this part is for when I get asked, what is liver mush? People want to know, what is liver mush? They call it liver pudding, but here we just call it liver mush. I'm trying to show you the ingredients. It's pig liver, it's pig meat, it's cornmeal, it's spices. It comes in a loaf. It's fully cooked. You can eat it as it is if you want to eat it cold. I've done that. But the best way is to pan fry it. See how it's just a nice little square of whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Here, I just want to show you how it browns on the outside. I'm undercooking it simply because I'm going to reheat it throughout the week. Now, the casserole baked exactly like I described. 30 minutes covered, 20 minutes uncovered. And you see that knife is perfectly clean. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut it into 9 servings because I think 4 is going to be really too big. Once we get it cut, we'll divide it into our little breakfast containers. There'll be 2 pieces left. I'm saving that for David. See how nice that is? Listen, I tasted it. I'm just going to tell you, it's delicious. Then we add 2 pieces of liver mush to each plate. And there you have it. Breakfast is done. Now on to lunch. Our sandwich tray, I'm starting with this favorite lettuce of mine. They're washed and ready to go. Green leaf lettuce. So I'm just taking it out, cutting it in half. Done. There's our lettuce. Couldn't be easier. Next up are our onions. I'm just slicing them in half and then separating them apart. I thought that'd be a good size for sandwiches. This is just to show you, keep a container of onions in your fridge for cooking later in the week. Makes it so much easier. Now I want you to see this tomato knife. I got this along with the cutter you're going to see with my peaches in 1985 as a wedding gift from my first marriage. That is how these last. It's Rada Cutlery. I will link it below. Spinach, this is just because I had some in the fridge and David likes them on his sandwich. Pickles, because what kind of sandwiches doesn't have a pickle? Then I didn't have any banana pepper rings, but I did have these Vidalia onion strips. They're pickled. So David won't eat them, but I will. And there you have it. There's a quick and easy sandwich tray. There's the meat. We're going to use some Lebanon bologna for me and then roast beef. These are the little squares from the Dollar Tree that you put between hamburger patties, but they're just little wax paper squares, so nothing's going to stick, and it'll separate it out. I'm going to weigh them into 2-ounce portions. Some are more, some are less, but they're close enough. So first I do the Lebanon bologna. I got like 2 sandwiches out of it, and then I do the, roast beef. And I just stack them on top of each other with the little wax paper as dividers. Then for the cheese, now I take a butter knife and try to, because that's a thin cheese and it breaks really easy. You can see I have one there. But I catty corner them. That way when we go to make our sandwich, we don't have to go through this trouble. See, it's just ready to go. I just put it in there with the meat. There's our meat and our cheese. Here I just want to share foolproof boiled eggs. Cover them with water, put a little pinch of salt in it, bring them up to a rolling boil, boil them for 10 minutes, dump the water out, flash them with cold water, and peel them as soon as you can touch them. You'll see coming up, they're beautiful eggs. Look how pretty those are. So I'm putting 2 whole eggs in each tray. Yeah, it's kind of fitting pretty tight, but that's okay. Now this is a cottage cheese. That container, that section is a cup, and so half of that's going to be a half a cup of cottage cheese, and that leaves room for my peaches. This is the other cutter I was telling you about. It was just cheaper to buy a can of peaches and chop them myself instead of those little cups. And you can see here, it does the trick. That is also a Rada Cutlery. That came with my wedding gift. I will have them both linked. Now, these are just applesauce cups that I saved
oh my gosh, probably 3 years ago. I keep using them. So I just separate the peaches out, stick them right there in the tray. Next up is my Frito-Lay cheese dip. Half of that little container is 2 tablespoons. So I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not going to get out the tablespoon, which I said I was going to weigh and measure, but I think I'm close enough. So we'll just put those in there. And then the next thing up are these pretzel puffs. I don't know what you call them. Pretzel knots. I don't know, but they're delicious, whatever they are. I have used pretzel sticks, and I have used honey mustard. I have used the little pretzel twist, just whatever you're in the mood for. And so I put 6 of those in each tray. So there you have it. There's our snacks. Okay, we're just getting right to it. Here's our breakfast for the week. The French toast casserole with Livermush. Here are our ingredients for sandwiches. I'm using the Artorias lavash bread that I got at Lidl. Dave was going to use regular bread, but I thought, hey, that's perfect. There's beautiful veggies. That is one way that I will eat my veggies, so that's a bonus. And then here's the snack trays, which I'm not going to sit down and eat the whole snack tray in one sitting. I will have it throughout the day. So hopefully what you see here is going to keep me on track this week. It's going to keep me from trying to scrounge around for something I really shouldn't eat. And I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you on my next one.